Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. I am Lisa Holder, the Communications and Marketing Manager for the City of Sanford. And today's episode, we have a wonderful guest with us. We have Commissioner Claudia Thomas with us.
Hello. Happy to be here.
District 4, we're so glad to have Commissioner Thomas here. This is sort of like a new initiative, I guess, for the city where the elected officials come in and share what's on your mind, what's going on in the community and in our city. And so we're so grateful for you to be here and take time out of your extremely busy day, Commissioner Thomas, to be here and share some insight of you, yourself, and then District 4 in general. So welcome, as I said.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Can you just give us a brief background, Commissioner Thomas, on how long you've been in Sanford and what inspired you to serve?
Sure. And I will do my best not to talk too much about each of our topics because I can.
It's all good. That's what a podcast is for, without talking.
I actually originally came from Pittsburgh and grew up there, went to college there initially, and after 2 years as a jazz guitar major at the University of Pittsburgh, took a year off to think, okay, I have some talent here. Can I make a living doing it? Perhaps not. So after a year of working, bought an old van. My cousin and I took off cross country. We went from Pittsburgh to California and back. During that time, I was looking at colleges and fell in love with Tucson, Arizona. So I went and finished my degree there, changed to business administration, decided to get practical. Turned out it was a good move because right after I graduated, I moved to Florida. I mean, isn't that what everybody does? You go from Pittsburgh to Tucson, Arizona to Brevard County, Florida, and started my career there working for Brevard County Commissioners. So this is kind of a nice full circle where my career started in county government, and I was doing all the hiring of the people. So that allowed me to get to know all the functions, which came in very handy when I was campaigning for this position. And after 5-6 years of working for them, I was fortunate enough to be hired by Lockheed Martin. And for the next almost 30 years, I worked for Lockheed Martin in various positions, divisions, started on the Fleet Ballistic Missile Program, went from that to the Space Shuttle Program, which was fabulous. I loved that work.
Yeah.
And I was getting gradually into working with systems, which ultimately became where I should have started, really, because that was my jam.
Yeah.
I became what was called the PeopleSoft guru for Lockheed Martin.
Okay.
Implementations throughout the world. We had at one time 140,000 employees all on this one system. So that was very successful, lucrative career.
Yeah.
And some of the takeaways from that I still think of to this day were a very strong sense of ethics with Lockheed Martin. They were very good about that. I appreciated that. Still lives with me to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And then after retiring, going back for a consulting gig for a while, 3 months became 18 months. So that kind of gave me a good transition into retirement. And then I got back into my golf game, back into music. So the nice thing was, while I was still working toward the end, I was performing at the Titusville Playhouse over in Brevard County, which in my humble opinion is the best musical theater in Brevard County. They do great shows there. And so it was nice to be able to come back to that. And I still do that to some extent now. In fact, I played my guitar in the Rocky Horror Show.
Did you really?
Right here at Theater West End last summer. So that's something I hope to continue doing. And it's funny because when I see young kids today who might have certain passions, but they want a career, I try not to preach about it, but I will share my own experience and tell them, if you have a passion, don't lose that.
Yeah.
Become practical in terms of having a career that will last, but don't lose your passion. I didn't, and now I'm still using it today.
That's so great.
So that was, that's a good thing that I embrace.
That's so cool. So jazz music, have you gone back to the jazz part of the music, or you?
My taste in music is pretty eclectic.
Okay.
It's all over the place.
Yeah,
I grew up in the 70s, like progressive rock, funk, funkadelic, Parliament, Average White Band. that was my jam then.
Right.
Yes, Genesis, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. A lot of the people watching this podcast will never have heard of any of that. But you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I have my choices, that's what I would be playing now. But
Right.
If there's a show.
That's super interesting that you have, I mean, you're a musician, then you have the other side. It's like right and left brain merged together.
Yeah.
Right?
In a way it is.
Like, you know.
In another way, it's funny. Somebody told me once when I was performing that, it makes sense that you had your systems roll because the same part of the brain can make you efficient at music and math.
Yes, it's true because music theory is all math, isn't it? I mean, people think that you can just pick up an instrument, but there's a method to all.
Yeah, if you want to move on to that. So
yes,
ultimately that all kept happening, and then when I was still in Brevard, I was getting pretty active politically behind the scenes, knocking doors, supporting candidates, being asked to run a number of times, but it wasn't until 21. When my wife and I decided to move to Sanford. And that was like
epiphany.
I love this city. I was so happy to be here. I love this city. There's so much about Sanford. It's like the perfect in between, a place where, it's a quiet, sleepy area. There's not much to do, not any traffic or anything, but, not a lot to do. Then there's Orlando. Big city, lots of traffic, waiting for a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Right in between there in that sweet spot, I think, is Sanford.
Yeah.
Where we have the culture, we've got the things to do. We have, some areas maybe where there is a little bit of more traffic than you'd like, but it's still manageable.
Right.
Like when I campaigned, one of my main points was smart growth, which we can talk about.
Okay.
And to me, I think we're trying to do the right thing with smart growth here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Sanford has a little bit of everything, which makes us so special, Our architecture, our home stock, we have older homes, newer homes, we have historic homes. We've got a little bit of something for everybody. So, and speaking of, let's talk about District 4 and what, for those listening, from your perspective, what are some highlights of District 4, unique characteristics that you can share?
District 4 over on the sleepy west side of the city. Everything is happening downtown. And my fellow Commissioner Sheena Britton, wherever you are out there, you're amazing because you have so much to handle.
Yeah.
It's relatively speaking, not as much going on where we are, but we do have some highlights, including, of course, the mall.
Right.
Now, when I was campaigning, I was talking about what we called the zombie mall for good reasons. But, I mean, good things are coming there, as a lot of people have already heard.
Yeah.
I think our Economic Development Director, Brady Lassard, does a great job of really educating people on the good that's coming at the mall. We know Costco's coming already. Woohoo! Because, Costco is a different clientele than Sam's, than some of the other places. So that's going to bring in some good business there.
Right.
They're working through their process now, and I think things are going to be coming pretty quickly there. And then the phased happening of other things will be going on inside the mall.
Sure.
Where the new businesses will come in there as well.
Yeah.
There are things I'd love to tell you about, but it's not quite time yet.
Yes, okay. But I mean, that whole area, it's the west side of our city, but it adds to the whole vibe of Sanford. You have
it's a different
You've
vibe.
got a different vibe, and you have all of those restaurants out there and things like that. So there's something for everyone, literally. If you like the small business mom and pop shops, you have downtown Sanford. If you want the more big box places, traditional restaurants, you have that here. So we have a little bit of all kinds of flavor, I think, in Sanford.
Right. And right there over at the I-4 corridor. So it's right off I-4, and people will now see what's happening at the mall, and we'll see the new version of it, and that's great. And you're right, Lisa, there are other businesses around the mall that will also be happy to see more business coming in that will help everyone there.
Yeah, because
like my favorite coffee place. So the mall is happening there.
Yeah.
And the golf course.
Right, and the golf course. And so also what I want to say is that your area is retail. Your area is retail. It's a lot of that,
Very
and
much
so and then the Mayfair Golf Course. So if you take a look at the city limits of Sanford, you will see how we're 25 square miles, I believe, very big city, and the Mayfair Golf Course and the Country Club and the mall are not like next to one another. Exactly.
No, it's kind of spread
It's
out.
a little bit spread out.
So if there was a map here,
Yeah.
you have the Mayfair, the golf course is down here, the mall is up here.
Yeah.
So that's like the western side of our district.
Yeah.
And then if you head due east from there, there are apartment buildings. If you head down toward H.E. Thomas Parkway, that's where the golf course is. And there are actually two little circular communities there that are also part of our city.
Yeah.
And then that's surrounded by Lake Mary or unincorporated.
Right.
And then you head east along H.E. Thomas, continuing past Airport Boulevard, and then down into the area where the school is, Seminole High School,
Right.
Wicklow Elementary.
Right.
More apartments down there. That's all also part of the district. So it kind of goes over and then down like
Yeah. And see, everybody, Commissioner Thomas knows her district.
I know my district.
She knows the inside and out.
Quite a few doors there. Yeah.
You have. And so you talked about improvements and things like that, and that would be the mall for sure. And so how about some community engagement stuff or anything that's going on involving people in your commission meetings and things? What do you suggest?
Yeah, as far as
The importance of civic involvement, Commissioner Thomas.
well, civic involvement is huge.
Yeah, I'm preaching to the choir, right? I know
Preaching to the
that
choir.
for sure.
Yeah, in fact, I just saw the Snipes couple, Mary and
I don't know his name, but they're Citizens Academy graduates, and they're at every.
they are at every commission meeting.
Yes.
I just saw them outside, and I thanked them, and I said, imagine what it would be like if all of the citizens were like you and came to all of our meetings, regardless of the topic. You know, you never know, and it might seem like it's a boring meeting, and all of a sudden something's going to click and say, this impacts me.
Right.
I'm glad I'm here to listen to this.
Right.
And maybe even have a comment about it if you so desire.
Exactly.
So they're like my heroes.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the whole point of attending meetings so that you're understanding, the people are understanding why, if something big comes up, like we just had last meeting,
Quite the night.
yes, on September 8th, then there's some education behind that as to how it was leading up to it. We understand people have busy lives. We get that. We offer the city commission meetings on YouTube, as you know, so people can enjoy a meal at home and dine with the city commission.
Right,
Listen to our meetings, have a glass of whatever it may be, and just stay engaged, because that's the whole part
You
of
can
it.
watch our meeting in your pajamas.
You can. And so we another important part, you were talking about any kind of development projects or anything going on in your area, or how we're balancing growth and preserving community character and all that kind of stuff.
That's always the challenge. And I'll tell you that before I was elected and spending time out in the community and talking to constituents about what was important, you have one mindset when you're listening to the common complaints: too many apartments, too much growth, what's going to happen to us? We don't want to be another Orlando.
Right.
And, my first response is, I am right there with you, because I don't want that either. The more you learn about city growth, city government, our comprehensive plan, zoning, then you start to understand what you can and cannot do. So the cannots have to do with the zoning, of course. And if a property is zoned to be acceptable for apartments, a private developer buys the property, they comply with all of the zoning requirements, they build within those requirements, not much we can do in that case.
Right.
So where we have the opportunity to do things like consider what's happening when somebody wants to, say, be annexed into the city, or they want to have us make a zoning change, that's where we as commissioners and the mayor can weigh in and say, is this the right thing to do? Is it the right time? Is it, do the good outweigh the bad? Or is it the case of, maybe in this particular case, it's too much growth. We don't have the infrastructure to support it.
Right.
Because, little segue here, but an important one, because it's in the news a lot, we have some infrastructure growing pains and other pains that have to do with old infrastructure. So we're already feeling the pinch when it comes to pipes in the ground, plants that have been there forever, and now having to put more of a burden on them if we continue to add to the population. So I get that in my head. And then the other side of my head is thinking, well, the growth that we get also means we have some additional property tax money that helps us pay for infrastructure and things like that. So it's an interesting balancing act, and one that I've been learning since being elected.
Right, and you did go to the League of Cities, and you're now appointed to one of those.
Yes, so in my many roles now, it's funny because my wife says, I thought this was 2 meetings a month, and now you're all over the place. And I said, well,
it's a big thing, right? Though?
Yeah. I mean,
you can make a change. Why not?
Right. And the more I get out there and be a part of these events and get to know the communities. Again, a lot of this is about relationship building, not with my constituents alone, but with the entire city.
Right.
So yes, and a part of that is joining the Tri-County League of Cities, the Florida League of Cities. I'm also a member of the Coalition on Homelessness, Central Florida Coalition on Homelessness. So once a month we meet on that and see what we can do in spite of the difficult cuts from the federal government that are happening now. What can we still do to provide some support for the homeless? We all know that Sanford, as the
county seat
and the mecca of Seminole County, in my opinion, we've got the homeless shelter here. So people will bring their homeless to our shelter, and I get that, it's understandable, but in my meetings with the coalition, I try to represent the fact that all of our cities here should be contributing however they can to support this cause. So that's one thing. Back to the Florida League of Cities, we just had our annual meeting for that. And during that meeting, I was appointed to one of 5 committees they have, what I like to affectionately call the IRMR committee. It's the Intergovernmental Relations, Mobility, Emergency Responsiveness. So all of those topics are combined into this one committee. And each of the 5 committees represent their city's municipal government when it comes to things that are happening at Tallahassee. So we have meetings before the sessions begin in January, a couple of meetings coming up where we will discuss what our priorities are from the municipal perspective. Obviously, home rule being a big part of that. And each of the committees have their focus. So we vote on what our priorities and our stances should be on these. And then we start in January when session begins on lucky January 13th. To have legislative action day in Tallahassee. And then we'll continue to, before and after, develop and build and continue to maintain relationships with our legislators.
It's in Tallahassee.
Yes, in Tallahassee. So our local legislators here, Senator Broger, Representative Plakin, we need to maintain relationships with them so that they can hear our voices loud and clear on what's important to the city.
That's so important. I mean, that's a great point to always make and to underscore is city officials, you are the voice of our community, and you go to Tallahassee, speak to our legislators. You're elected to do these things to help make change at home, which is what home rule is. We want to share a little bit about the
home rule in a nutshell means let the people who know their cities make the decisions on what impacts the city. Yes, there is state legislation that we all have to follow. But there are times when it feels like the state might be creeping a little bit too closely into what we do here and what we do well. So there's always this battle between, can we do things here at home because we have the knowledge and we have the resources versus what you think you have to do from a state perspective. So again, another balancing there.
And who knows better what's happening in our own backyard but elected officials like yourself.
Exactly. And then the other thing is, just to make that clarification, there are things that even constituents come to us about that are really not within our purview. They might have to do with state legislation. They might be things that they should be talking to their senators, their representatives about versus commissioners, city councilmen.
So, and the awareness of that who's responsible for what, that's the average citizen. But last meeting, we had Representative Broder come in and give an update on what was
Yeah, that was a
happening.
nice little surprise.
So that was Representative Jason Broder came in. You can listen to the commission meeting from September 8th, and he provided an update from the state legislature. He is our representative in this area.
Correct.
So, but I want to thank you, though, as our elected official. You have so much on your plate. It's such a balancing act, but you are there to make decisions on behalf of the community and on where Sanford is in the future, what's happening today, the good and the bad. And so what about your vision for the future of, if you could have a magic wand, Commissioner?
Wouldn't we all like a magic wand and the money that goes with it?
And the money that goes with it. But really, though, what do you think would be something like a short-term goal and maybe a long-term goal for?
I really try to focus on long-term goals. Again, when I was campaigning, it was about thinking long-term versus just Band-Aid fixes. I know a lot of our citizens feel like we're doing Band-Aid fixes and just barely keeping up with problems as they occur. So, and now that I'm here, I see more of that, and I see why the perspective is there. So I would like to find a way for us to transition to that long term in a way that's realistic. You can't just say today, I'm going to start making decisions that will affect us in the long run. Right. It doesn't happen overnight, because if we started jumping right to the future, things over here are going to break and they're not going to get fixed.
Right.
So, but ultimately, it's always in the back of my mind when we are having things come up to us in the agenda that seem like we need extra money to fix a water line that just broke. Okay, I'm listening to that. I'm hearing it. Yes, we need to do it. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how many times is this happening? Is there a trend here? Are we getting to a point where we just have to make some sacrifices and maybe put people through some pain of things being out of commission, so to speak, for a period of time, so that we can really overhaul things and make it better for the future? One thing that gives me hope is, we talk about water, wastewater a lot. And again, one of my features when I was campaigning was clean water. Let's have it. Because of the fact that we have been involved in the lawsuit because of the 1,4-dioxane issue. So far, it looks like we've been very successful there. And we should have funds coming in as a result of that. And so those funds they'll be specifically, of course, addressing the 1,4-dioxane and getting that PFAS, the quote-unquote forever chemicals, as much as we can get them out of our water system. That's going to be a big help.
Yeah.
Maybe serendipitously, that will somehow also help water, wastewater in other ways. But it's definitely something we keep a focus on.
Yeah, we do. And we have to always remember this city. I know it's 1877. We're getting ready to celebrate 150 years, not in 2027.
Sesquicentennial. Yes. Say that 5 times fast.
Not on the microphone. It's we are a historic city, and there's good and bad attributes.
The history is wonderful, and I wish everybody could do things like Sanford Speaks, where we get out into the community and share stories. Historic Goldsboro, the stories about that. Those are all great things, and I'm so glad we really promote the history.
Right.
But you're right. The downside of that is aging infrastructure.
Right.
And it's a tough thing to do where you're bringing in enough money to fix the problems and hopefully have some things that are thinking more long term. But it will always be something that I will push for whatever my term is, to try and really keep long term in the back of everybody's mind. Is where is the point where we can start maybe making some small sacrifices to have a future that says, now we've got the good infrastructure that's going to last.
Yeah. And I know that
to roads or wastewater, any of that.
Yeah, so important. That's what we do. Cities do provide you with wastewater, roads, and this is the very basics of a good quality of life. But I know that the City of Sanford is working on a strategic plan that's going to be unveiled, which will help guide that, decisions and things like that. And I want to give a shout out to our public works teams, though, and utilities, because they work really super hard trying to manage a system that needs some
Love and care.
love and care.
Yeah, our
TLC.
unsung heroes out there.
Yeah, they do.
climbing down into those places and doing the hard work.
So, but in any event, how about a message of hope from Commissioner Thomas or something? Something. What can we say, Commissioner Thomas, that will unite us? Unity is a big thing for you, I know, and inclusivity and embracing diversity and all of that. And I think we're a great example of that as a city.
We really are. I think we are a good example. And I think that's reflected on the dais. It's reflected throughout the city. There is some history there that is also, some good, some bad. But to me, this city gives me hope because I came from a place where it's, let's just say, challenging there.
Yeah.
And I think that we are more cohesive here in some respects when it comes to that. And the more that I can help promote the enrichment of having people from every walk of life, no matter where I go, even in the some people call the boring west side of Sanford, my community where I live, it's about 300 homes, and it's a very diverse population. We have a number of Indian residents, African American, Hispanic, and I love that because there's culture there that I embrace,
Right.
and just make every effort I can to get out there, get to know people. When I was campaigning, there were a number of over on the east side, just about the end of my district. There's a wonderful Hispanic community that I was getting to know. In fact, I just went to the Sanford Police Department had a Hispanic festival.
Right.
It was great. Very energetic and good food, good people. So the more I can get out and do things like that, let people get to know me, let me get to know them. When I'm exposed to people from other countries or they speak more than one, some of us are lucky we speak one language here. When I'm exposed to any other language, I try to learn at least a little bit of it. Make the effort to say, we respect you, we understand, we want to learn from you, you learn from us.
You're welcome.
We're all humans here, right?
Yeah. Welcome in Sanford. Yep. Yeah. So, well, we really appreciate you, Commissioner Thomas, because you're a ray of sunshine. I should say that because you're a new commissioner, and it's just you have a great attitude, and
I try to stay positive,
participate in things, and you'll see Commissioner Thomas is the first commissioner to do this new series that we have, and so
breaking the ice for my fellow commissioners.
For the fellow
commissioners. It's not that bad.
Yeah. And so we appreciate you, and
I want to keep doing positive messages because I try to find a positive in everything I do, no matter what. Even if I'm on the golf course and I hit a bad shot, I will find a positive in that.
Right.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, it takes. I mean, we're running a city. You're making decisions on behalf of human beings and their lives and their families. That's a lot of weight on your shoulders, and so to have that perspective of, like you said, just welcoming diversity, the whole 9 yards, and what's better for the city of Sanford and what's best for our futurism.
It's always about the city. Even the meeting we had Monday night, 4-hour meeting, which was a first for me, and I think it doesn't happen that often here.
Right.
It was great feedback from the citizens.
Right.
And that just shows you that people do care. They just need to be informed. And Lisa, you and Nico have been doing a fabulous job of trying to improve communications, do more, get the word out more. And I mean, almost to the point where I think, are we out there too much? Yeah. Do they get confused about where to find out about things? Because, I mean, the fire assessment fee, as you know, and as I mentioned on the dais, we put a lot of information out there about that. But it wasn't until people got the old-fashioned snail mail letter that a lot of them found out about it. Yeah. Now, this is, again, from a logical perspective. Do we have the funds to send out mail all the time and the postage to pay for it? I wish we did.
Right.
But I think we try to do the right kind of communication with the right information.
Right.
And keep it simple. Obviously, that letter, very legalese. I would love to have made that much more personal. I think we tried to tweak it a little bit. But again, the feedback we got was good lessons learned on how we can still probably do more to make things simple, concise, messages that they can hear.
Yes.
And speaking of communications, I appreciate the fact that you shared the information the other day about coyotes in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were right. A lot of attention on bears, but, coyotes they might not cause as much damage, but they are out there.
Yes.
Poor Lisa lost her cat to a coyote. And as an animal lover and a pet owner, that breaks my heart. Yeah. But I appreciate the fact that you shared that, because it kind of makes it real to people.
Yeah.
This does happen. We are in their territory. In a lot of cases, we're in the territory of the bears. We've built where they already were, and we need to respect that. But at the same time, we don't want to lose our pets. Yeah. So take care of your children.
Yeah.
And keep them safe. And do the right thing, and we'll try to commune with wildlife in the best way.
Exactly. I agree. No animals out at dusk or dawn. I was almost like, remember that old commercial, do you know where your children are? It was 10 p.m. if you lived up in New York back in the day. So
it was 11 o'clock for us. Yeah.
Do you know where your cats are? Make sure they're in your house. But yeah, it was hard. But
yeah.
But thank you for that notation. And we want to thank Seminole County Animal Services for putting out that information to everybody, so everybody can have their animals safe in our city alone and Seminole County.
I think I will share that on my Facebook page. I do have a Facebook page, a public page. You can find me there.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to talk about, you brought up about the people that came. We had a huge, standing room only at the September 8th meeting, commission meeting. And
out
so
to the hall.
That just goes to show you that I'm sure it was peer-to-peer, neighbor-to-neighbor, let's go, let's get out, let's go to the commission meeting, because on the letter, it did say come to the commission meeting, but I'm sure you talked to your neighbors about it and as a community and decided to come to the commission meeting. And we had, 50 commentaries on this, or maybe even more. And so I would personally, as a communicator, would love to see our citizens as engaged for not everyday decisions.
Yeah, you don't have to come to every meeting.
In general, because it shows that your voice, regardless if there is 100 of the citizens speaking at the podium, or 2 or 3, that's the government closest to the people. You get to speak to your mayor and your city commissioners. Voice what matters to you, and that's what we're here for. And so,
because I've done that too myself as a citizen at our meetings, at other meetings. I've been up in Tallahassee speaking to committee hearings there.
Right. And that's what we're here for. There's a reason there's a podium in the commission chambers.
Yes.
And there's a reason why there's a bunch of cozy seats there too. And we don't look out on the audience.
Right.
There's nobody sitting in them.
I'll tell you something else, Lisa. I always learn things. I love learning things. In fact, I learned a lot at Citizens Academy before I was elected. Right. Best thing ever. I loved it. But during that same meeting Monday night, I learned something because, as you recall, we had a number of speakers who were very passionate. And there was one in particular that was so passionate, it was loud. And I don't think you can tell on YouTube or maybe even in the audience how loud it is from where we are sitting.
Okay.
Because it got to the point where it was hurting my ears.
Oh.
So I did this. And I probably closed my eyes while I was doing that because I was trying to focus on a way, I was trying to respect the speaker and listen to him.
Yeah.
And a speaker later admonished me for that, and I thanked her for letting me know because I didn't have that perspective they did from the audience, how that looks.
Right.
So that was a learning experience for me.
Right.
To just, grin and bear it.
No, I hear that. It takes a lot to be able to sit there and just, take sometimes not so positive feedback, but negative things about the city and all of that. And again, you have to be a special individual to be an elected official. And so it takes a unique individual to be able to serve your community, selfless and all of that. And so, but we encourage people to come out and share your voice because, those decisions are made at the dais, but they're made for you. The people.
Exactly right.
That elected you there. So if you
absolutely nothing I do, say, or vote on up there is because of my desire to stay elected.
Right.
None of it. No, if it was that, I'd have been gone already. And another thing that I really pushed when I was campaigning is I was the AAA candidate because I'm an advocate for the people. I'm accountable for my mistakes, and I'm authentic. And I will continue to be that way as an authentic person, no matter what.
I
mean, the fact that I was I think, the first openly gay commissioner in the history of Sanford, that's a part of me, but that's not all of me. I campaign based on what I want to do for the city and what I think I can do for the city. Doesn't mean, however, that I will not be my authentic self at all times.
Right.
So what you hear from me will be genuine and it will be ethical. And if anybody ever thinks that's not the case, tell me, please.
I like that, Commissioner Thomas. I advocate. You're an advocate.
Accountable and
authentic. And I totally see that working with you too in the city. So I totally see that. And thank you for sharing that. So we can, where can people find more information? You have a social media page, right? You have your own social.
Yes.
And so Claudia Thomas?
I have a website. It's www.claudia4sanford.com.
Okay.
My Facebook page, just look for Claudia Thomas, District 4 Commissioner.
Okay.
Instagram, I'm on there as well.
All right.
And I'm out there in the public.
Right. And so if people want to reach you, is there an email?
Yes. Email is claudia.thomas@sanfordfl.gov.
All right.
My office number.
Would you like to, would it be something where if you would like to meet with a constituent or a concerned citizen, you do that, correct? You met here at City Hall. The commissioners and the mayor have an office here at City Hall.
We have an office here, and if you want to reach me at my office, it is 321-330-6582. That's my work number, or 407-562-2849. That's the work number, 407-562-2849.
Right.
That will, if I'm not there, you can leave a message, and it will get to me, and I'll call you back. And I've had some constituents do that already, and I'm pleased to say that they've been positive. I've had some great feedback from some people I didn't even know who have told me confidently that they support where I stand on things and what I've been doing for the city. That doesn't mean that if you disagree with me, you can't call.
Right.
I want to hear it all.
Right.
Let me know, because if my citizens, my constituents in District 4 don't tell me, then I won't know.
Right. So you heard it from Commissioner Thomas. You have her contact information. And also on the website, we have information, city website, sanfordfl.gov, a in-depth bio of Commissioner Thomas and all of that. And we just want to say thank you. Is there any last words that you'd like to say to the world?
Yeah, I think I've covered everything on our topics.
Yeah.
Just know that how we shape the future here in Sanford is all of us together, not just your commissioners and your mayor. As you've heard from my, fellow commissioner, Sheena Britton, we work for you. If you think about a hierarchy or an organizational chart, the citizens are up here at the top.
Yeah.
And then the commissioner and the mayors, we work for you. And then we have city manager, city clerk, city attorney, they work for us. And then the city manager is like the CEO for the city.
Right.
And all of the staff comes under here.
Right.
By the way, shout out to Mr. Bonaparte, who has had a tough time with a loss in the family. And I'm thinking about you, Norton. Also, a little shout out, if I may, to my wife, Krista Tino, for putting up with my time away. Krista is the 5-time national champion golf coach at Seminole State College.
Yeah.
And I just went to
I was just going to ask
the clubhouse.
Do you want to say something about that?
Actually, I just from here came from the clubhouse because I met with
Club, yeah.
I met with Robert Utze, who is he's managing the construction there.
Because
this is a city-owned golf course. This is our golf course in my district.
And you're renovating it.
Yes, brand new clubhouse there. It's been a while, but it is, I'm proud to say, on time and expected to open in early November. In fact, Krista is having her fundraiser event at Mayfair. Probably will be one of the first events with the new clubhouse open.
Oh, wow.
So this morning we were talking about what kind of displays we were going to have, and it's going to include, we just met this morning with the Arnold Palmer Foundation, so we'll have a little image from his group. other early PGA professionals who played in tournaments at Mayfair Country Club back in the 50s, the 60s.
Yeah.
There will be pictures of the original LPGA founders there. And there might even be a picture of some of our national champion teams because Krista won one of her national tournaments right here at Mayfair Country Club.
And so, like you mentioned earlier, that is in your district too. So no coincidence.
Yeah.
what a great great golf course. So look forward to that, everyone. Well, Commissioner Thomas, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
And stop by anytime. Your City of Communications office. So that was a
yes,
tongue twister. And so we anything that we can do for City Communications that can help you share your message to the public.
Speaking of, I do know that we are going to work on how we can make the agenda items more simplistic, easier for the citizens to digest, so that when they see the agenda coming up, they'll have a better idea of things they might want to come and attend in person to hear about.
Well, that's great. I've got that written down. So you can always call on us to help you.
You bet. And I appreciate the peace sign here because I am all about the peace.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Anytime, stop by. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Happy to be here.
Thank you. This is Lisa Holder, Communications and Marketing Manager for the City of Sanford. You're listening to Sanford Says, and you could find this podcast wherever you subscribe to your favorite podcasts, and now on the city's YouTube channel, video. And we appreciate you watching. Please share this with other folks. The more people that see these podcast episodes and understand about city government, the better.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.